What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Acting Chops Network podcast. I'm your host, China McCoy, home of the industry insiders. That's right, baby. We in the house, and you know I never let an episode go by without my trusty clapper. Again, go back and watch all my episodes. I never miss a clap. If you haven't stood behind one of these, you'll never know the feeling of what it's like being on a movie set. So get a clapper, practice in the mirror. Anyway, I was asked a question somebody wanted me to talk about today on the podcast. They said, China, what do you think about quality over quantity? Would you rather have more movies to watch, or would you rather have good movies to watch? And of course, I'm like, I would love to have more movies to watch, but at the same time, they got to be good. So why can't I have both? They go, well, if you have a choice, I'm like, why do I got to have a choice? Why can't I just have both? Because when you think about it, why can't we have both, right? Why can't production companies make quality movies in quantity that are just good, right? But what it is, see, everything is connected. Everything is like intertwined, right? So you look at the casting process, and then you look at production companies or movie industry, right? Or movie studios, and they go, hey, we're like pay less shoes. Why pay more when we can pay less? You know what I'm saying? So when you pay less, you kind of get what you pay for in a sense. And sometimes you don't. So sometimes you can pay less and get a good movie because the quality of people that you got are high tier, but they just love what they do. And I talked about this in my last podcast. But when I say intertwined, that goes back to the casting process, because you still have agents and casting people that believe in, well, this person has 500,000 followers on Instagram, and that person has 10,000 followers to 100,000 followers on Facebook. And then over here, this one just got 1 million followers. So, and they don't have the faintest idea that all these followers doesn't mean movie sales and movie tickets, right? There were times I saw something and I liked it, right? And I go, oh, that's pretty funny. Or maybe I followed them at that moment because at the time I just didn't want to lose them. So before all this, you could just share it in your inbox and all that came along. It was hard to like keep track. So you would just follow somebody and you knew like, okay, since that person I'm already following, I can always just go to their content if I feel like it. But don't mean I always want to watch their content. You see what I'm saying? So, and then if I'm getting them in intervals all the time, why would I want to see them in a 2-hour long movie? I don't. And so the mindset of that has hurt the industry. And then also in another one of my podcast episodes, I talk about self-tapes, and self-tapes have definitely destroyed the quality of the film game. Because again, if you got a chance to do 30 or 40 takes until you find one you like, and then you send it over to them, and then they go, oh, this is great. Oh, I love it. You're hired. They're not great. They weren't great because you haven't seen the other takes. You see what I'm saying? And then I got some friends who do self-tapes. They do 2 times, and then they'll send it in. Boom, boom. No, I'm not doing 30 takes. I'm pretty confident in my skill set. And more times than not, they usually book it, right? They'll book a TV show or something like that off of 2 takes, because not only do they understand quality, but they got caught in the generation where they were going in to actually be casting directors. So they understand that they have to still create that interaction that's not there with the casting director in their minds. You see what I'm saying? So their mindset is different. So when they do that self-tape, they're not going to do 20 takes or 10 takes or 50 takes. You know what I'm saying? You get a good 2 takes, that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you ain't getting no more out of them. But I think production companies and the movie industry really have to focus on quality, not quantity, right? and not the dollar. Don't focus on the dollar. Old saying, you get more bees with honey, and it's a reason for that saying, right? So if you just focused on a dollar, then you're really not going to kick out a good movie, or you're just going to do a whole bunch of reboots, or whatever the case may be. And, as I talked on my last episode about moral and ethics, if your morals are where they're supposed to be and you're an ethical person, you'll treat your crew and your cast a certain way, and they'll help you deliver a high quality film. I used to have this thing I used to say, like, man, never hire people who are trying to get on your movie for a paycheck. Because in my mind, I just believe that if they're there for the paycheck, they don't really care about the material. Always find people that care about the material, that ask questions about the material, that want to know the levels of the characters, and the story is so intriguing to them that it's like, man, I'm on. I love this story. This is an interesting story. I love to be a part of this. And, they will give their all. And to them, in their mind, the money is a bonus, right? So if the money is a bonus, then they're going to be there for the long haul. They'll work those extra long hours. They won't ask for money for overtime. Like, they'll start giving you grace and giving you breaks on your budget. You see what I'm saying? So there has to be a give and a take. So when it comes to quality and quantity, why can't we have both? Right? It's like 31 flavors. If I want 31 flavors, why can't I have all 31 flavors? Why I gotta go only get 2 flavors? Why am I limited? I'm not limited because it's 31 flavors. So it's the same. If I want a good quality movie, whether it's a horror, a sci-fi, a fantasy, a comedy, a dramedy, it doesn't matter what genre it is, I should always get good quality movies with good cinematography. With good cinematography comes good lighting, good color grade. There's a whole lot of aspects that come in that whole little scenario. You know what I mean? And you can see that the actors are engrossed in the characters, and you could tell, like, from a filmmaking standpoint, that, wow, whatever set they was working on, they probably was having fun. They loved what they was doing, and people were really into it. You know what I'm saying? So don't give me the choice of quality versus quantity. Give me quality and quantity. All right. So the movie industry, y'all need to step it up. I know y'all little independent, production companies, step your game up. Check out the better cameras. You know what I'm saying? Get better lenses, learn better angles. Go back to the days of Lord of the Rings and Transformers, where they shot a bit that, the scene had a scope to it. It was a massive scope. So it looked super epic. Start re-upping your technique in the film game. Like, everything has to level up, and we're not leveled up. So we get a bunch of Tubi movies, and there's so many Tubi movies, and so many different type of Tubi movies, and nobody's putting no effort into anything. Like, go back to the days of The Howling and Star Wars and Jaws, you know what I mean? And just days where people actually cared about making the movie. Even Nightmare on Elm Street, they cared about that. They put their heart and soul into making that movie, and they went through a lot of trials and tribulations. Even Waterworld, they kept saying it was a bad movie, but damn, they tried. They woo. Go to YouTube and watch the making of Waterworld and look how much crap they went through. We need to get back to making movies and care about making movies, and just be morally and ethically in tune with the cast and crew as a whole. We're family. We're not enemies. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to meet for a common goal. So anyway, go to my YouTube, like and subscribe. And again, if you subscribe, that means you like what I'm doing. I'm on YouTube at Acting Chops Network. I'm on IG at Acting Chops. Look me up, support. And guess what? I'm going to see you guys on the next episode. And if you got to go to the dollar store, get yourself a clapper. Oops, sorry, I think I moved the camera a little bit. Get yourself a clapper. Go down to Hollywood Boulevard, get yourself a clapper. Go on Amazon, get yourself a clapper. And then just get the feeling of being behind a clapper and someone going, take one, pow. Anyway, see you next time. Peace.